Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video we're just doing a quick look at a new Bendy and the Dark Revival teaser that just came out today on the Bendy Twitter page. Now, I will leave a link in the description if you want to go and follow the Bendy Twitter page if you are active on Twitter, as well as a link to my own Twitter because, you know, I'm on there and I'm also active on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and keep up with my tweets, so to speak, go and do that down below. Now with that said guys, this is a teaser image released to do with Bendy and the Dark Revival, and it's our first look at the in-game graphics. Now I know we had that gameplay trailer, but that was quite compressed and sort of low quality. It was a YouTube video. It's hard to gauge exactly how the game looks from that trailer, other than it looked very impressive obviously. But with this image we can actually see, you know, the crisp, clear visuals as they'll appear on our sort of computer monitors and our TVs, because this is a direct feed screenshot taken from the game. And immediately, just before we even dive into looking at the details of this picture, just look at the quality of the lighting, the texture work, you know, everything is just so much better than Bendy and the Ink Machine. It actually looks a massive leap in quality, like over what I really expected from this sequel. But of course it does retain the same basic art style, you know, it's very iconic, the art style of Bendy and the Ink Machine, and you wouldn't want to mess around with it too much, so it has still got that basic look, but we can see that the detail, the lighting, the ambience, you know, the atmosphere, it looks far better because of these improved visuals. Now, as you can see in this image, if we analyze the details of what we're seeing here, the sort of line above the tweet says, "The old gang awaits in the shadows." And obviously that old gang that they're talking about is the Butcher Gang. We can see, for the first time ever, we have a cutout of a Butcher Gang member here. Much like we get the cutouts of Bendy, we've now got a cutout of Edgar from the Butcher Gang, which is of course the little sailor guy who's part of the Butcher Gang, which we met in the first game in their sort of deformed versions that we of course run into. And we already knew the Butcher Gang would return in the Dark Revival because in the gameplay trailer, of course, you know, the new character Audrey, she puts her hands on one and sort of vaporizes it. So we knew that they would be making a return, but it's just cool to sort of see that they will feature heavily in this game in terms of like their place in the studio. You know, this is a cutout of their cartoon version. It means we're going to get a glimpse into more of the cartoon characters at the studio and how they would have been incorporated into the sort of cartoons being made there perhaps, because who knows, we might actually get a look at the cartoons themselves a bit more in this new game. But either way, it means the Butcher Gang are taking a very prominent role in this new game, which is pretty exciting because obviously they're quite cool characters, and I did have some problems with how they were modeled in the original game, but from what we've seen, the models are massively improved in this new one, so it's pretty exciting that they're going to be coming back. Now, there isn't too much else to say about this particular image. I mean, I might be missing something. If I am missing anything, I'll come back and do a slightly sort of a more updated video, but from what I can see, it's a pretty standard image. In the background, we've got sort of this dimly lit corridor. I'm looking at the shadows and I can't really see anything in the shadows that sort of jumps out to me, but what we can see is it's very dilapidated, boarded up, and sort of run down. Now, I've speculated that perhaps this new game is going to take place in the past, present, and future versions of the studio, because we're going to be getting backstory of the old characters, while also waking up as Audrey in the past version of the Ink Machine, but also tying into Henry's story in the present, and then maybe getting a look at the studio ahead of when Henry arrived there, you know, into the future, when everybody escapes perhaps, and they end the loop. I don't know if that's going to be the whole story of the game, obviously, but we do have that line, "break the cycle," at the end of the trailer, so it seems likely, you know, that's where the story's headed. And this could be a future version of the studio because it looks so run down, even more so than the version of the studio we saw in Bendy and the Ink Machine. It looks like it's degraded and it's sort of fallen apart even more since then. And we saw that line, "the machine must endure." It might be pointing towards the fact that the machine is degrading as well over time, and if the machine obviously ends, then this world that it's created will end. So the whole sort of process of this game of a Dark Revival seems to be that it will take place across a number of years in the studio and eventually lead us to a point where we see the studio run down like this. I don't know for sure, but you know, that is a story speculation. Take it for what you want. It's just what I'm getting from this image and what we've got from the materials so far for this game. But either way guys, I hope you did enjoy that like quick look at this image. Obviously I'm not going to make a full 10-minute video for a screenshot. There's really not enough to go on in this screenshot for that. With that said guys, go check out this image for yourself over at the Bendy Twitter page and give them a follow. Obviously support them for first-hand news. I'm just reporting on the news here, of course. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, leave me a comment down below, and of course subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I will see you guys on the next one.